door handle. The full passport on 3, exit right door 463. 5 we yeah, go. After additional killing.
Ready?
Where we go from there?
Go.
It's that time of the week already. Welcome back to Thursday Thunder. We're in full flight of the Speedway season. You gotta love it, don't you? The smell of the methanol up your nostrils. Oh, I know, we're a bit junkies in our own way. Love racing. It's happening now across Australia. Kicked off in full flight. When I say kicked off, except for in Western Australia, night one, oops, rain out. Sorry, Motorplex. However, they ran on Tuesday night, and Ryan Farrell, fairy tale ending, took the sprint car feature. We'll talk about it a bit later on. Over in further up the hill, let's try Sydney Valvoline Speedway. Nathan Schmee took the win in the speed cars. Nice to see him back on the podium. Nice looking car, the American racer Spike. Beautiful, nice win for the boys there. They've got to be happy. Talking about happy, no one could be happier than Australian Speedway than my young lad Jack. Drove his Formula 500. Is a junior. It's got the same as the standard Formula 500, but with a restrictor. Had his first race up at Murray Bridge on the weekend and had a ball. Can't thank Murray Bridge and Speedway Australia for backing it. CBS Bins, they were the sponsor at Murray Bridge on the weekend for the Wigsell Battle of the Bridge. Now, if there's a more involved person in Speedway than the Baker family, I'm yet to find them. Great supporters of the Disbury family racing, but also the three major speedways in South Australia. Murray Bridge, Speedway City, Gilman and Sidewinders. They put money into the sport at all of those venues. Guys, really appreciate what you do for the sport. Anya, I know you probably don't get the support and mentions that you do, and I know you probably don't seek it, but here at Thunder, we wanted to thank you. So, fantastic job there. Talking about fantastic jobs, our friends at Titan. Reeves back in the country after a bit of a holiday. Seasick, Reeve? I believe the vodka and the scotch may fix that. Sprint Auto Parts, Chaz Calandro. Even use a Facebook now. Chaz, you're in there. Good man. Appreciate your support. And of course, Scotcher Petroleum. This Friday, again, like last, buy 100 litres of fuel, get 20 for free. If you're in South Australia, get down to Scotchers, get your fuel. Really impressed with the amount of feedback we're getting to the show. People commenting on what I've had to say and let me know what they want to hear about. Darren at thursdaythunder.com.au or catch me at the track. Keen to hear and talk about what you want to talk about. Tonight we've got Dave Parker. Talks about the classics this weekend at Gilman. You'll be thrilled with the comedy of Dave as always. Squizzy Mills joins us by Skype all the way from Echuca, talking about getting back in the saddle after what turned out to be a pretty scary end to last season. Bear Chalmers gives us an update on Night 1, Part B at Perth Motorplex on the weekend. And of course, Danny Holden, the Chief himself, he comes and going to join me here alongside and talk about what was the Bill Wigsell Battle of the Bridge, sponsored by CBS Bins. The main man from Speedway Australia, Shane Collins, is in the building. We're going to have a chat with him tonight, ask a few questions, see where the sport's at, see if we can find out where the future's going. I'm looking forward to that. So I guess that's a big show on Thursday Thunder. Sit back, relax, watch it on your iPad, watch it on your phone, watch it on your laptop, when and where you want to. We're the Ministry of Speed here at Thursday Thunder. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm Darren Disbury. We're back right after this. And welcome back to Thursday Thunder. Oh, we have some fun here in the Dragon's Lair. You wouldn't believe what goes on during the commercial breaks. We've been arguing whether Premier Speedway should have been spelt with an E on the end because it's a French word. Wouldn't it be Premier? Or Premier? Oh, I don't know. It all got too hard for the Dragon. However, thanks to our good friends at Thursday Thunder Apparel, we get to speak to one of the absolute likeable larrikins in speed car racing. Our friend Travis Mills joins us via Skype. Hey, Squizzy, how you doing?
Hey, Diz, how you going?
Yeah, good, buddy. Hey, mate, I'm so thrilled when I saw on Facebook that you were coming back racing this year. It's music to our ears.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's obviously last year didn't end on the best of notes, and it's just good to be back in the car again. And yeah, we obviously had a pretty good weekend last weekend to kick it all off. So yeah, just really happy to be doing laps again.
Yeah, mate. Some people won't know that back on April the 5th last year at Warrnambool, you had one of the nastiest rides. Now, we got some footage. Sam, if you can roll the tape, mate, you've probably seen this many times and don't want to see it again, but it's one of the biggest speed car crashes I've ever seen. Up and over and slaps that fence like there's no tomorrow. You weren't hungry for McDonald's, mate. You weren't leaving. What's the story there? It was a nasty rollover. We got it in slow-mo. You've just ridden the wheel. It's dug in and up and over.
Yeah, that's about it. Just got it, I guess, a foot too wrong trying to go around the car, and unfortunately, when you take off at Warrnambool, you're going pretty quick. So yeah, it was and it ended up being a pretty decent one, but yeah, in one piece and ready to go again.
Mate, coming down on the tail, is that what you think does the damage? There were some real scares on the night. I know my phone took off like a fire brigade that was ringing that much. People were very, very concerned for your health. I believe the crash crew did a magnificent job, and the people there at the hospital are going to be commended with the way they treated you. But the crash down onto the base of the spine where it's bounced on the tail tank, is that the primary area of concern?
No, to be honest, I think the tail tank probably cushioned the blow a hell of a lot. Obviously, I was up fairly high and it come down on the tank and probably cushioned the blow. I think probably the start of the flip where it got into the barrel roll and it was quite a quick whippy type roll. That I think that's what done the damage. I was knocked unconscious pretty early. I think that's sort of where it all started. I don't remember anything from there, but yeah, the tail tank I think probably if anything helped cushion the landing.
Yeah, mate, you frightened the hell out of us. I was so thrilled when we got the message come through from the First Lady, your good wife, Katie. She kept everyone up to date via Facebook. Loved that thing. Soon let us all know that you were fine to go. So obviously it did shake the bells a bit, sorted you out, and we were hearing that there was to be no racing for the Mills race team for this year. But good news, you're back. What's the story for this year?
Yeah, no, we're back. We're we sort of had decided mid-off season to sit out this season, and it was nothing to do with the crash. It was more a financial side of things. But yeah, it was probably the biggest thing that got us back into the game was it's a huge season in Victoria. Basically, we've got our local Aussie J Campers Series Southern Speed Car Tour. That's they've put up a massive prize for the series. We got the Aussie title at Warrnambool, the Vic title the week before that. It's a pretty massive year, and it was just the wrong year to sit out, really.
Well, mate, speed cars wouldn't be the same without you. Aussie J Campers, now they've got involved with your Victorian series, something pretty huge. What's the prize for the series?
Yeah, so Aussie J Campers have put up a camping trailer for whoever wins the series. It's retailed at $16,000. So yeah, she's definitely the biggest prize that speed cars have ever raced for in Victoria, and probably one of the biggest prizes in Australian speed car racing. So it's pretty big, and the competition in Vic has really stepped up. A lot of guys have stepped up their equipment to have a good crack at it. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be on for young and old.
Mate, young and old, you got back in the familiar family-owned number 10 car. Great support, obviously, from the family business, Dirt Media. Dutton Garages and GRD still involved. Great to see. First night out, you've taken the win. It can't be too hard for you.
No, it was hard. It definitely wasn't easy. We had a pretty good night. We had a couple of little engine issues and a few other little issues. But, yeah, we soldiered on and sort of got the car right for the final, which is always where you want to be, have it right towards the end of the night, and we come away with a win in the first round of the series. So it's got us off to a good start.
Mate, that's a good thing. Bank those points and good to go. You're a big supporter of the Speed Car Pro Series. Now, I noticed there's no Victorians at all in the series this year. It must have been a very hard decision not to go back on the road.
Yeah, it was. It was something that we had actually planned to do. We wanted to do the Pro Series this season in our car, and we'd actually put in an expression of interest and got accepted. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get the money together to do it properly. If we wanted to do it, we wanted to do it right and really have a crack at winning it. So, that's all it come down to. We just couldn't get the money together quite enough to do it properly and do it right. So we sort of decided to sit out for this season, and hopefully we can have a decent year, not have to tear up too much stuff, and then we'll get sort of everything ready to and have another crack next year.
Mate, I'm feeling your pain, I think. The back pocket's getting bled to death by some other races. I see on Facebook fairly regular 2 terrors of young Mills, Caleb and AJ, your 2 lads, tearing up, if not in the backyard and they're quarter midgets, they're down at Bacchus Marsh tearing up. You're bleeding from both ends with the wallet.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm fighting a losing battle, aren't I? It's, I've just actually come out from the shed working on their cars. I think I work more on theirs than mine.
Mate, they tell me the boys turned some pretty nice laps. It must be in the genes.
Oh, no, look, they're getting going pretty good. They haven't done a lot of laps in them, to be honest. The Bacchus Marsh racing's every second weekend, and obviously with my racing, it's hard to get there all the time. So they probably do half the racing of a lot of the other kids. But we're lucky enough to have a little bit of a basic track out in our back paddock, and they cut a few laps out there. So that's probably helped them get up to speed a bit better. For
the people that don't get to follow the Mills family on Facebook, both the lads look like they've just jumped out of a surfing magazine. They're absolute pictures of lads. Mate, how old are the boys?
They're 12.
Well, bad news for you, mate. Now, secret's just between you and me, but Formula 500s now have a junior rank. They can start from 12. Yeah. I won't say nothing to the boys, and we will just keep it between us. But
keep it on the low down, can you? They're already giving me hassle about jumping into my car in about 4 years' time. So,
they're counting the days. So
it's inevitable.
Tell me the rest of the season. It's chase the Aussie J's Camper Series. Obviously, bank the points, and that would look very nice on the back of the Squizette's car, the camper. it would, wouldn't it? We got the Murray River only 5 kilometres away, so it'd get plenty of use, that's for sure. That's pretty much it. We're pretty much basing ourselves in Victoria this season, so we'll do all the Aussie J Camper Series and then all the bigger stuff. Aussie Title, Vic Title, Beasley Memorial. We'll see how we're going towards the end of the year. We might sneak up to Sydney and do a 50-lapper or something like that, but we'll just sort of see how we go. Okay. Mate, Echuca's home, how far is that from the Warrnambool Mecca?
About 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sort of 3 hours to Avalon, 4 hours to Warrnambool. We travel probably the most out of all the Victorians by far throughout the season, getting to all the tracks, but we're sort of used to it by now, so it's just what we do.
And mate, obviously, I see you've just celebrated a birthday back on the 12th, 21 again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 20.
Oh, he's pushing it. Yeah. Mate, we're going to keep a careful eye on you this year. You're an absolute favourite across the nation. Whether it be in the 10 car, in the family race car, or even for the boys for that matter. We love everything you do. The First Lady, Katie, she does a great job with your media, mate. So send our love to her. Best wishes for this year. Please keep it on 4 wheels. We want the shiny side up only, Squizzy.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, none of that airtime stuff I did last year, that's for sure.
No, someone did say here in the studio when we watched the footage you were higher than Joe Cocker, but that's for another day. Mate, you take care. Best wishes to the family. Look forward to seeing your race this year. You're in for a cracker season, no doubt.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I definitely hope so, and hope to see you all at the track somewhere.
Fantastic. Great to catch up with Squiz, isn't it? He's just one of those standout racers. People love him wherever he goes. His wife, Katie, does a great job with all the media. He's got some core sponsors that he's kept over and over and over, and the man stands up and delivers. I would really love to see him get a crack in a sprint car one day, because if one man can make that all happen, I reckon he's the man. Thanks for Squizzy joining us here on Thunder. We're back short after this break. thanks to our good friends at Titan Garages, we get to have a chat with our good mate, Danny, the Chief Holden. How are you, buddy?
I'm really good, Darren. Thanks for having us back on here.
Oh, mate, the public demand. The drums have been beaten loud. They wanted you back. I've had to give in to pressure.
Yeah, well, I tried to kick you out of a chair, but you keep staying here.
Mate, a couple of things I want to discuss with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, lots been happening in Speedway over winter, and you're the man on the hill. We were talking earlier off screen. You know, Turn 1 judge. You're the average Speedway follower that's probably the big diehard. So, Speedway Australia, there's been absolute upheaval there, but the one that's cut deepest to you is World Series.
World Series, that's it, Darren. World Series for 28 years now. Every year I've looked forward to World Series.
Yep.
This is probably the first year, I don't know if I give a toss about it. I don't know who's racing. There's no big superstars named so far. And I'm seriously thinking about, for the first time in at least 15 years, of not doing Speedway. I'll do Adelaide and Murray Bridge and may go to Mount Gambier. But if there's no Brooke Tatnells or international superstars, Gary Brazers, etc., why would I travel 800 kilometres to pretty much go see a club show and I can save my money up, go to Sydney in January and see Vidali race, and then do the Classic, etc. I'm really disappointed.
Obviously, we're aware there's been some upheaval up there and that there's a lot of drivers still to be announced. I think there's been 3 or 4 announced thus far. So for the guy on the hill not knowing what's going on, that's really hurting, isn't it?
It really is hurting. Like, you got to book accommodation, Christmas leave, etc. Motels aren't cheap to book out if you book real close to the date, and family commitments, etc. You really do need to know what's happening in advance.
So with what we now perceive as lateness, granted that the World Series doesn't kick off until Boxing Day, 26th of December, do you think they'd be better off releasing all the drivers in a big hurry, or do you think this slowly feed thing is still acceptable to the public?
Well, my personal point of view is, if you got the drivers locked away, name them. That way, people like myself on the hill, we can get excited, we can go to Speedway City, or Murray Bridge, or Sydney Speedway, and we can talk to our friends. You know, so-and-so's doing World Series this year, so-and-so's going to do Speedway. Give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Some news is better than no news.
Okay, fair call. There you go, people. Really keen to hear what your thoughts are. Danny, we call him the man on the hill, Turn 1 judge. Is he feeling what you're feeling? Let us know. Give me a call. Drop me a line. Darren at Thursday Thunder. As always, more than happy to talk about what you want to talk about. Now, Danny, on the weekend, I see you're up at Murray Bridge Speedway. The Wigsell Battle of the Bridge, a very, very important race to me, to honour the great man himself, Bill Wigsell. And we had a good turnout of cars, but we'll get to the sprint car race in a minute.
Yep.
Some of those support races were actually fantastic. Sammy, we got some pictures there. Gartner, mate, is that man on fire or what?
That number 8 Castrol car is fast becoming my favourite car to watch in any class of Speedway. Where you can put that car is just amazing. And the number 36 super sedan of Ryan Alexander, I believe, that is a sweet looking ride. And look at those 2 little cars.
Well, mate,
I believe you know number 17.
Yeah, I do know that number 17. That's the Junior Formula 500 division just started off. That's my son Jack in the 17, Castrol backed. Did we mention Castrol?
Well, you can. Gary Russell's Castrol back. You didn't hurt him.
And Bryden Parr was good enough to bring his car across just to show the people what they're all about. They're the standard Formula 500s, just with the restrictors. So they had a bit of a skid. Now with the speed cars, Benny Hall had a standout night.
Yeah, the feature race was a good race, and with Ben went on to win the race. He drove really well. He didn't actually leave a majority of the race, but got the job done when it mattered.
Yep, Todd Bennett was in for second and Brock Hall at third.
Yep.
Mate, earlier, Dave Gartner with the picture we had up there, mate, he had 3 from 3. He standout night.
I don't think Dave's been beaten all season so far.
Yeah.
He cleaned up opening night at Murray Bridge, went to Bordertown and cleaned up and done it again then, well, last week. That's Mick Bryanberry in the AMCAR. The AMCAR racing was pretty good last week as well. Numbers weren't huge, but it was great to see Leanne Turner get a podium.
She was in for third, and Stevie Letts picked up the second. So
now Stevie actually had a new car, and actually had a bit of a bingle in one of 8 races last week.
Now there's a new winner in the wingless guys, Robert Hurd. Fantastic for him to get the win.
He was, but they just couldn't catch him. He got into the lead, got fresh air. Chadwick and Farrell tried their hardest to catch him, but they just couldn't run him down in the end.
And of course, the big race of the night, Dylan Jenkins ended up taking the checkered flag in the Bill Wigsell Battle of the Bridge.
That was absolutely really good to see that. Dylan drove really well all night, clean through his heats, did what he needed to do, and then hounded Darren Molyneux there. Darren Molyneux led 28 over 30 laps, but Dylan had a plan, I reckon, for the last 10 laps, and just ran him down and went to the top side.
Yeah, went round the outside. Now, thanks to our good mate Pico, he's got a whole heap of shots for us. Now, Pico's got a new camera, I've got to tell you, a bit of a worry. Have a look. He's got the fisheye camera.
I want to know how Pico stands up there to get the shots.
Mate, he does some magnificent work. Look at that. That's art at its best. There's Linesy.
Yeah.
He's not quickly turned to clay.
Yeah, there's young Scott Boguski there on number 84.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see a few more stickers on that car for Scott.
Now, we'll just hold that one, Sammy. That's the man himself, Sean Dobson, back racing with his dad's team with backing from Essendon Ford.
How does that work? It's an ACT 21, Chauncey, Tasmania, with a Victorian sponsor from Essendon Ford.
Looked after by the Walshy himself.
It's a very nice looking car, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he also had a night he'd rather forget. Also hit a kangaroo or something on the way home. Talk about bad luck. Daniel Pesca in the 88 car, the Matt Eastermont thing, mate, went wrong, and wrong.
Yeah, but he couldn't have anything go wrong all night and even on the way home. In the first heat, Daniel had power steering troubles and actually caused a bit of an incident with Matt Eagle there. Matt went to negotiate the top side of him to put him a lap down and rode out a real big crash.
Yeah, mate, no, it was sad. A lot of the superstars had trouble in the night, but eventually that man stood up. Darren Molyneux was very, very controlled there in the 77 Par-owned car with the throttle.
Yeah, Darren did show great throttle control during the night. Some of the other guys might want to take a bit of a lesson when it becomes a slick track.
Yeah, Luke
Dillon about throttle control. Luke Dillon, he had a reasonable night. Only finished inside the top 10. But he just wasn't the dominant Luke we come to expect.
No, he did loop it early in the final though, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Yeah. So, did struggle a little bit. I'm sure we'll see a lot better things from him over the coming races.
Now, there's an example of a throttle control there. Car's pointing the wrong way. You can see young Brendan's hard on the gas. I'm sure Brendan had a night where he probably put in the bank and say, I've learned from this one, we'll move on, because Brendan is a damn good driver. Yeah. And he'll be better for the run.
Pari's throttle control did impress me all night. He did a good job, but outdone and outthought by the man himself, Dylan Jenkins. Fantastic.
Yeah, certainly was. Dylan's been in sprint cars now. I believe this might be his 10th season in sprint cars.
Is that right?
And I remember back in the first season of Dylan actually winning 2 heat races at the World Series in his first night of World Series competition. I remember the crowd going absolutely nuts when Dylan won those 2 heat races.
Mate, it's a great story himself, I think, the whole Jenkins family. He had the year out of the sport last year, and they tell me they're back. This is a 1 year only, and then they're done. Built a new house. Obviously started a family during the off season.
I believe he's got 2 kids now.
Well, Dylan, haven't you worked out what's causing this yet, mate? Really? We can tell you about it if you're caught. Family's doing great things. The new house and the business continues to flourish down there.
Yeah, they look after Kenworth trucks down in the Tatiara region of South Australia, and also probably go over into the western districts of Victoria. They look after Kenworths, etc. And I believe they employ upwards of around 35 to 40 people. Quite a large employer.
Had hoped to catch Dylan tonight and have a quick chat. We got him on the phone just earlier. He's actually out rescuing a truck that's broken down, so he's very apologetic that he couldn't come on the line with us tonight. But very typical of that family. They're helping other people out. So
definitely, if you're ever in need of help, or Dylan's one of the first people to come over. Dylan, his dad John, John's helped more people you can count on. If you're in need of a good feed at the Speedway, his mum Ann. Oh, she's a good cook.
Now, I did hear that on Saturday night on the way home, the Matt Easton 88 car had issues, and they come to their rescue.
And Dylan came to his rescue as well.
Yeah.
I believe that was in Neil. And if you've ever been to Neil, pretty much is Neil there.
Neil for Neil. So, yeah, fantastic for him to the win. I think the fact that it was so controlled for me around the outside, so hopefully in the coming weeks we'll have some footage of that. It was very, very planned. There's the man himself, father of John.
Yep.
Fantastic bloke.
Now, John is a great fellow. He had a bit of health issues a few years ago, and it's great to see John still doing really well. That trailer of Dylan Jenkins and the truck, that is an awesome bit of gear. One of the nicest trucks on the road.
Yeah, look at that. Sweet bit of kit there. Hey, Leaf Alpha's a bit scary. Had a engine fire.
Yeah, you never like to see that. I believe it might have been a fuel line came loose off a motor. And we all know with methanol, that can be quite dangerous because you can't see it sometimes. But luckily, Leaf was on the ball, pulled over to the fire crew. And I do have one thing I noticed about the fire crew. The fire crew wasn't overly prompt.
Okay, well, we'll watch that a bit further.
Leaf had actually pulled the car up to a stop, and you could actually see the fire crew grab the extinguisher and then run over him. They should be ready to go.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can get a comment on that. Mate, the other thing I note, they had a 2-seater up there, Leaf Alphas, a brand new 2-seater.
Busy man, I don't know if I'd like to go for a ride on that. I really don't know. I reckon it'll be the best fun of your life, but it'll be a bit like bungee jumping. You'd want to do it, you'd shut your eyes and hope, and when it's over, you'd enjoy it.
Mate, so summing it up, it was a long night. They canned the dash because they were running late. They didn't go 4 wide, but they got the racing in and some good racing.
Yeah, they definitely did get the racing. It is a late night, though. 11:30 is probably a little bit late to be finishing for families. I did notice a few families leaving a little bit beforehand, which you never want to see. But what can you do? Murray Bridge are trying their best. They tried a different format for sprint cars by coming out later in the night to save the track.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that? I thought it was a good idea.
I thought it was a good idea. I thought the track was pretty good.
Yep.
I definitely prefer slick tracks to hooked up on heavy tracks. It saves the race cars and provides better racing.
Just talking to a couple of drivers since the weekend, they liked the fact that the track was slick or went slick, but there was no cushion. There was nothing to grab hold of. When they slid up the track, there was nothing there but that dreaded concrete.
Yeah, well, maybe that's something. I'm pretty sure Tim's proactive at Murray Bridge Speedway. Tim would take on board what the drivers say.
Yeah.
And I guarantee by the time we go back there in a couple of weeks for the All-Star round, the track will be fine. One thing Tim does at Murray Bridge is listen to what the drivers want.
Yeah, no, they're doing a good job there at Murray Bridge Speedway. I enjoy going, and they're having a fair old crack.
Yeah, you can't knock anyone for having a crack.
Danny, thanks for joining us. Off the bench, the new look, Dylan Jenkins in the blue shirt.
Yeah, well, I apologise to Dylan. I'm not much of a substitute, but I did my best.
It's always great to catch up with Danny. He's often in the studio here with us, and we refer to him as the Dannypedia. He gives me all the facts and figures, keeps me up to date with all the things the Dragon misses. So, mate, thanks for dropping by again. We look forward to the next chat here on Thursday Thunder.
No worries. Thank you very much, Dan, and I'm going back to my chicken shastiks.
You're watching Thursday Thunder. We are the Ministry of Speed. We're back straight after this. And thanks to our friends at Titan Garages, we're joined by the current main man himself, I guess, from Speedway Australia, Shane Collins. Welcome to Thursday Thunder.
G'day, Darren. Good to see you.
Well, mate, I guess different times from when we spoke last year about some of the series. So much has happened in Speedway Australia and in your role over the last few weeks.
Yes, it's that's a fair way to put it. Yeah, it's been interesting times. You know, we never stand still in Speedway, as people know. But yeah, a few things have happened just recently, which you know, they reckon it was good for Johnny Farnham to make a comeback, so why not? So I thought I'd do the same.
Well, there'll be drawing set from that analogy now. Mate, I guess you've seen it on the social media. It absolutely rocked the core of Australian Speedway to the ground, that you had left the sport. Your role within Speedway and your standing within the sport was probably much higher than you ever give yourself credit for. Most of us could see it, but it took what was a bad situation over what had been a coup within the board of Speedway Australia, which had concerned many people as to a direction. What direction? Was there a direction? Or if there was, it wasn't being portrayed. And the next thing we heard is the man that we all could trust in or thought we believed in was no longer there. So you'd have to accept that it rocked the whole sport to the ground.
Yeah, it was fairly humbling, to say the least. I didn't expect that. You know, the situation basically was, and it was purely coincidence with the board stuff. I mean, I obviously don't have anything to do with the board in the way of movement there.
Well, let's clarify that, because there had been some talk across Australia that what happened at board level and the changing of the seats there, categorically you had no knowledge of that prior to that happening on the Friday.
Absolutely had no idea. We'd planned to go to Melbourne for a meeting for World Series, and we were sitting there in the office, and yeah, a couple of the board members were there and were visibly upset, and we didn't know what was going on. And then yeah, we were pulled outside and told, and it was like we were blown away. Like, there was 3 employees there, and we didn't know it was coming. We didn't know what had happened. The timing was just all coincidental. But it was a bit eerie.
Wanted to put that one to bed. Yeah, you had no knowledge at all.
Not at all.
Categorically.
Not at all. Not at all.
Next thing we see on social media is Shane Collins has resigned from Speedway Australia. Mate, the people are asking why.
Yeah, look,
in a nutshell, why?
Look, and you know, put away that board stuff, because that had nothing to do with it. Even prior to leading up to that, there's been some changes at Speedway Australia, and for whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I've given, I really give everything I possibly can to Speedway. I love the sport. I love a lot of the people that I deal with. You know, I'm very proud to call them friends. And a lot of the stuff that I'd put in place and really tried to work hard in over the last 4 to 5 years in growing, I really felt like it was getting unravelled, and I wasn't sure of the direction of where things were going in the way of Rising Star program, World Series, Pro Series, a lot of stuff that we're trying to push on and try and build on the good work that's been done in the past, I was finding weren't happening. And then it come to a head when I started taking work home, and I as much as possible, I get home with the family and the kids and put a smile on my face.
You've got a young family, yep.
And when I was getting home and it was starting to take effect on my family, I just scratched my head and thought, well, maybe I've got to be careful if I'm doing this for the right reasons at the moment. And just about to commit basically to 4 months on the road, away from my family, not sure about the direction of where my job was going.
So again, to be clear, from the Jungle Drums, Shane Collins had no job to go to when you resigned from Speedway Australia?
No, nothing. I rang a couple of mates around home who were carpenters and fencers, and I said, you want someone to, help you out? That's all I was going to do. It basically come down, I spoke to the wife, and I just said, look, for family reasons as well, I just made the decision I had to make the break, and I advised the board in writing, and then I hadn't heard anything back. Well, I got a phone call saying that they'd got it, and then and then I just put something up on social media because my phone started to ring, the word had got out, getting a lot of text messages, so I put something on social media, and I must say, it was amazing. I remember sitting home watching TV that night, and my wife and kids were actually out, and it hit me at one stage that I just couldn't believe the comments. So, I was taken back, and I didn't do it for any of those reasons, obviously.
I want to diversify that, Shane, is that a lot of people that don't go on the road with these series don't necessarily understand what a World Series or what the Speed Car Series is. It's not a matter of 13 or 14 races. It's so much more than that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get involved with the families, the people, their personalities, what's happening in their lives. It's so much more. And with you living it 24/7 pretty much with your whole involvement, it must have become the other part of your family.
It is. And when you're on the road, I'm not in a race team, so I can't take my wife and my kids and close friends. I use other families as families, and you go on the road and like the Jenkins family and things like that, you actually become a part of theirs. They cook your lunch and get you food, and you talk about their work and their life, and you actually become a part of other people's race teams, and you do build close associations. And I pride myself on that a bit with my job too. And the day that it's a chore for me to go to a race meeting, or the day where I'm not wanted by teams and that, I would walk away as well. And I really work hard to try and build those positive relationships. So,
well, mate, so many of us across Australia were trying to work out where it all sat, and finger pointing was happening left, right, and centre, and with no direct outcome anywhere. What we did hear is that you were being chased, headhunted by Motorcycling Australia. We're being wooed with some lovely corporate tickets across on the Phillip Island with all the food and beverage and eye candy that goes with all that. For the announcement to roll out on social media on Friday afternoon that you were back as race director.
Yeah, I advised the board of my reasons for why I needed to move away, and I said, if things change in the future, please feel free to contact me. I love the sport, as I say again, and things happened, and I'm still very close friends with our previous general manager Dale Gilson at Motorcycling Australia, and he's doing an amazing job there. And he was lucky enough to he asked me over to the MotoGP and got to meet a lot of the key stakeholders in motorcycling in Australia and worldwide, and met Mark Webber and Mick Doohan and all. It was a fantastic opportunity. So
we saw on Facebook you were doing it. So.
Yeah, I did. So so that was an opportunity I went and did, and only late last week while I was in Phillip Island, the board contacted me and said, this is where we'd like to be. We understand your position previously. We think things have changed. I went through some questions with them about that. I was confident in what they told me. And Friday, 5 o'clock, they asked for an answer. And I said, I'm happy to come back and have a go. We've looking forward to the AGM this Sunday and board meeting.
That's the Speedway Australia AGM.
Yeah. So the AGM's this Sunday with a board meeting following that, and then into Monday. So I get to sit with them for the first time and go through a few other things with.
So Shane, again, the rumour mill. At no time has it ever been you or the GM. That's never been come from your camp, because obviously during this time you walked away from the sport, the general manager was removed from his position at Speedway Australia.
Yeah. So
that was never a prerequisite of yours? That he be gone for you to return?
Oh, look, that you could say that. Yep. We didn't see eye to eye. I was unsure of the direction he was going with some of the things, as I say, that I've worked really hard for. And, And that was the end in line for me a bit, and I lost a bit of the passion for it due to things going on there. So I just left it as is, and I just need to break from it. And the board understood where I was coming from. They'd also seen some things that happened over the past sort of month, 6 weeks, and yeah, it's the way it's rolled out.
They'll unfold for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, there's lots of talk across the Speedway world. Since you disappeared, the information sort of stopped. I think it's important that people know that in the office there's 3 new men. You've got a marketing/PR manager, you've got a communication manager,
Yep.
and then you've got a competition manager,
Yep.
all with a limited exposure and background of the sport, which you were probably going to be leading through that period.
Yeah, spot on. And all 3 of them I felt so sorry for. And to give them their dues, they're going to be very, very good in their positions. But hence, it was a little bit of my problem in the direction of how we were sort of showing them what to do. But it's been a little bit difficult for them because they're flying blind. They've been given information that may not have been true, and it's been a little difficult for them. But I have been in constant contact with them still over that time to try and help them when I could. But yeah, I've already been back, met with them. Reese, who's in the competitions role now, I had not met him previously. Met him the other day. Fantastic, very switched on, and I'm very confident that those positions are going to grow with those guys there for sure.
So the 3 main series, I guess that's the things that with the exposure, the World Series, the Speed Car Pro Series, and the NSSS. Where does World Series sit? Whether you've been in touch with or not, social media has people screaming that there's no information and they're cancelling holidays. Now, whether that's factual or otherwise, that's what they're putting out there. I see that we had a release of Mark House, Aussie, coming on the road with the World Series, so that's now 4 drivers been announced. Where does that all sit?
I must say a lot of the reasoning for me coming back too is I'm very passionate about these series and certain things that I've worked with. Only being back for a few minutes and talking to the guys and just think there is a bit of work to do behind the scenes, but I think we can put the puzzle together pretty quickly. There is, I've made contact with a lot of the bigger teams that have done World Series for many years, and verbally they've basically committed that they're going to be back on board. We'll have more announcements in the next coming days.
We can expect them sooner rather than later?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a matter of basically typing out what they've written and what they've spoken about. So, so I would suggest that in the next few days, keep your eyes peeled. Sponsors have been locked away. We're working away in the background on a few other things. The World Series information will come and will flow now. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a product of the guys in the office not having the knowledge or the contacts of the prime people.
So we'll tick that box and say
that.
that's looking good, or it sounds like there. And the Dragon himself has been speaking to many of those people, and it looks like the stars are aligning. They're good.
Yeah.
The TV deal, mate. Where is all that at? Again, the rumours run ripe. The TV show has been very good for Speedway, especially last year with its exposure through 10 and 1. Will that roll this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Sunday at the GP, I sat with DBC2 owner and manager Dale Britton, who looks after all our marketing and top-end stuff, the TV deal and all that. We will sit down again in the next week or 2. But yeah, the TV deal will happen. We've just got to coordinate what shows will actually go to air with that. We did restructure the rounds a little bit with World Series this year. We brought in what we call a Category 2 show, which we're trying to entice some country tracks or other tracks to get involved on a Friday or a Sunday.
Which is a good idea, yep.
Yeah, so we've been able to do that. They generally won't bring TV with them, but it's to help the teams, and the series still can maintain
absolutely,
rounds.
I'm an absolute big believer in that. Your Speed Car Pro Series kicks off in about 10 days, mate.
Yeah.
With one of the biggest races in Australia, the Figlamini race over at the Perth Motorplex. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, once again, unfortunately, it's all sitting there in a shoebox at work. We just got to undo it and let it go bang. We've got the big launch happening in Sydney with the major announcement of our new major sponsor, which is exciting. Carline Automotive have come on board.
Fantastic company.
Unreal.
Andrew Wade and his team there do a great job and are so thrilled to be associated with the Speedway.
And this is the great thing that the Pro Series has brought to the Australian market. And I understand there's other series and that around the place, but this is what we wanted the Pro Series to do. That big announcement's fantastic for the division and the series. The team out of WA have just brought in a new energy drink company and Tap Out Energy Drink. Now, without national exposure in this series. That can't happen.
Yeah, which is a driving point to their marketing
absolutely.
plan. Yep.
So there's a lot of good things happening. Next week on Friday night before the Figs race, we'll be doing a launch at the Motorplex. Everyone will be invited. We'll have something on our website within the next day or two about that as well. We'll have photos and videos from the launch from Sydney. And the fact we're going to Sydney. We're taking this series.
I think that's an awesome
into
thing.
Sydney. It's the same weekend as the V8 Supercars at Homebush. I've already had a bit of consultation with a couple of the development series drivers and things like that. They're real keen to come out the track, have a look at what we do. We'll do a promotion at the V8s as well. It's going to happen. We just got to undo that shoebox and go back.
So while the shoebox has been locked away on the Pro Series, the story out of Perth is it's going to be bigger than Kong. The Figlamini race, we've got at least 3 Americans, I'm told.
Yeah.
The New Zealanders have come across the ditch. It's as big as it's ever going to be, if not bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that race, stands alone in, if you like, with prestige and what it's done. And we're very proud to be able to tack in and try and help with the sport, get that to television and promote it. But yeah, it's great. We've got, Jerry Coons is out and going to come and run in it. Alex Bright will be there. The field's going to look pretty amazing. So, it's exciting times. We think the Pro Series is just going to continue to grow. There will be some management things through the year. We've got to look at how we're going to grow that on the Eastern Seaboard going forward. Just a positive from the outset is that Speed Cars Australia, now on the board of Speedway Australia, are starting to understand the bigger picture of what we're trying to achieve with this series. I'm confident that it can keep going forward. We end up in Warrnambool again for the grand final. Spoke to David Mills today. He's really excited about that show. We're carrying on the back of an SRA sprint car show there. I mean, we'll get a good crowd night after Speed Week. It's all looking good. Yep.
Stewards.
Yep.
Again, a talking point with the Pro Series. We'll start with that.
Yeah.
Who's looking after the Western Australian rounds with the Pro Series?
Yeah, well, sadly, as you probably know, Gary Pendlebury's not involved in the National Series this year. The good thing with these National Series, what we brought in the past, is we take away a little bit of the steward calls, the officiating calls.
Yep.
We don't have primary calls with our National Series. So really, it's quite black and white for a competitor. Basically, say off the infield, we don't have to be involved.
Yep.
So with the stewards, we're using Jerome Sutton over in WA.
Which is the local guy.
Jerome does the Perth Motorplex all the time.
Does a great job.
Speed Cars Australia steward Brad Dent will come in and do a couple of rounds as well, help us out. And then when we go into World Series, we've got Gary Winterbottom out of Sydney is going to come. He's the National SCCA steward now. And Wayne Baines is going to give us a hand as well. So as I say, though, it's not as important, if you like, or the stewarding as such. It's really an overview and a management of the racing, which I think is beneficial for a National Series anyway. So
okay, so we're ticking a few boxes along the way, and I think we're probably letting people know that for as much as it's been upheaval, everything is sitting there ready to go and is being unravelled.
Yeah.
Those that have been uneasy, is there something we can be telling them as to where you're driving the sport in the short term?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just to continue, my thing is all about the sport and making sure these shows are good. We need to continue to make sure that if people come along, they leave that track with something tangible to go, you know what, that was different.
Yeah.
And we're not just a race show. We're not just a race meeting. We're not just a club show. We need to be something different. So we need to bring the show. We need to bring the fanfare. We need to get the kids involved. And we've got to continue to do that with these National Series.
Really pleased to hear that, Shane, because, again, social media, for good or the bad, people have suggested that maybe World Series had run its race and that a lot of the bigger shows across Australia were now surpassing that. My argument would be that if you serve up sirloin every night, the sirloin steak soon becomes pretty average. To bring the World Series show, which is always different and has the stars from across Australia, and I think it will always be a standout event wherever you take it.
Yeah, no doubt. And we've got to keep lifting the bar too, don't get me wrong there. The moment we sit on our hands, we're going backwards. So, already I've just said to the guys at work, about social media stuff this year, technology stuff, advancements we need to make in the series going forward. One thing that with the World Series, and it's quite exciting with the Speed Week component, our 5 tracks over Speed Week have got together and committed a really cool fun to the winner of Speed Week this year. So
the winner of the Speed Week, so it's still $10,000 to win each night?
Each night, yeah.
He with the most points at the end of that round?
The person after Warrnambool who's top of the table win $10,000 bonus.
10 large.
10 large, and we can't thank the tracks enough. Wendy, Tim, the guys from down at Mount Gambier and Avalon and Millsy who's put it together. This Speed Week thing is got to be a big thing that Australia, not just World Series, but Australian sprint car needs to keep hold of and grow. And they've put together a pretty good deal. So, 10K large to win the Speed Week.
Risk management, obviously, has been a large part of your role within Speedway Australia.
Yeah.
You're knee deep from the wrong end up in what's going on over the next 6 months. What happens with the risk management?
Really got to get back on board with that. It's such an important part of motorsport. Doesn't matter what level it is. Great thing about doing that stuff with MA last week was I talked to their guys in that area and how they've developed it. And we've got so far to go. And we just got to, the thing with risk management, it's about protecting the sport. A lot of people get caught up with thinking, we're bringing in rules just to make it happen. It's not. We want to protect the sport. Everyone that goes to a Speedway meeting, whether it's a competitor, whether it's an official, whether it's a spectator, they've got every right to go home to their family safely. And that's the thing that we've got to continue to do.
Absolutely.
So risk management, yes, that will still be high on my priority list. We will actually, we will be nurturing people in the office to actually take a bit of that over as well. So we're going to spread the load a little bit with those things. But more of that we'll know after the AGM and board meetings coming up this weekend.
So pivotal this weekend with the board meeting to set some direction.
Yeah.
Roles within the business to be sorted. I guess we could talk for hours as to where, what, and when. I just want to let people know that you couldn't be more committed to making this right.
Yeah, absolutely. It was difficult for me to walk away, and it was difficult for me to come back. But now I'm back. The thing, as I said to the board members that I was talking to last week, you've got me now 110%. Like, I'm in this for the right reasons. I couldn't be more passionate about this sport. It means, it means a lot to me. And
so the people that attack the sport, Shane, on social media for uninformed reasons, what do we tell them?
Look, social media, that's going to happen. I mean, it doesn't. Sadly, that's the way of the world now. Sometimes I just wish people would get balanced with their views with it, but you can't read too much into it. If you know the facts of what's going on, often I'll see stuff put up and I'm like, that's not true at all.
Yep.
And a lot of times I'll personally reply giving the correct information because a lot of people just get ill-informed.
Misinformed, yeah.
Yeah, and so it is what it is with social media. The thing is, what we've got to do is continue to do as many good things as we can so that there's more and more positive stuff happening. So that's got to be the key to what we're doing. So the other, we're about to launch into the new Rising Star program. So that's one thing as well. I've said to the guys at work, be ready, because we've got to fire that gun within the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot of stuff that we just need to keep going, get the momentum up again, and I'm sure we can do it in a pretty short time.
Well, folks, I think if there's anybody that can make it happen, this man, Shane Collins, is the man to get it together. Needs your support. For once in the history of this great sport, let's pull together in one direction, and if we can't agree on one thing, let's agree on one person. Let's agree on him. Let's work with the man and get things done. It's not hard. Shane, thanks for coming back to our sport. I hope these people get on board with you and make our sport a better place. For what it's worth, we at Thursday Thunder, we'll do whatever we can to get in there, put our axe to the grindstone and make it happen. But I want you folks, we want your help. We want to tell people how good our sport is. Get behind and help this man. Thank you for coming in and joining us today. Really appreciate you making the effort.
No problems. Thank you, mate. Excellent.
We'll be back right after this here on Thursday Thunder. Or is it Friday Thunder? An absolute highlight every week on Thursday Thunder is when we get to speak to this man. Dave Hollywood Parker is on the line from Gilman Speedway. David,
Hello?
What are you doing? Sounds like you're mowing the lawn.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. Shut it up. Thank you.
He is mowing the lawn.
Hang on. What is that?
Darren Disbury at Thursday Thunder. Remember me?
Oh, hang on.
Check
I'm
your
supposed to
diary.
be out there, aren't I?
Yeah, check your diary.
Yeah, oh, mate. No, I'm just getting the lawns ready for the weekend, mate.
Hey, you got a big meeting with these all these old boys for the classics on the weekend. They're coming from all over Australia.
Yeah, certainly have. It's going to be good, you know. We've got guys from West Australia, far north Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, all over the shop coming.
Yeah,
Gonna be
mate,
cool.
they're all over 45s. Now, how's that new big shed? We've got some new pit bays and a new big shed going up.
Have you seen the size of the shed?
Oh, yeah, what's been on
Everyone says,
Facebook?
how come... They're asking me, why is it so high? And I said, well, it's got to be that big to fit me Flybridge cruiser in there.
Oh, you're
I think we made some measurements wrong. I think I quoted in feet and they thought it was meters.
Either way, it's going to be impressive.
It's huge. It's great. Fantastic.
Mate, we're looking at some of the shots of some of the bikes that are having the run over the weekend. Now, the over 45s having a squirt. Each of the guys are going to have 3 runs each, and then they go into a sudden death final.
That's it.
So it's there's no mucking around for a lot of these guys. They might be a bit older, but there's pride on the line.
They wait 12 months for this meeting every year for bragging rights on Sunday. The Facebook really goes off its head on Sundays, right? But yeah, look, it's a good thing. You know, the guys are bringing all their old bikes out of the shed. My old bike's going to be there,
Beautiful.
and all the Vincents are going to be there, and the old Japs, everything. You know, Triumphs, Suzuki's, water bottles, the whole shoot match, everything from years gone by.
Dave, did I see Darren Trelaw driving his dad's Kawasaki 900 this weekend?
That's right. Look, of course, Darren's father. Most people know that Darren's father passed away this year, and Gary used to come to Gilman all the time, and he used to always say, you know, like, one day I'm going to get the Kawasaki, and you could all imagine my answer. You go, righto, sure thing. And when the entries come out, I got a phone call from Darren, and he said, I'd like to ride in a classic meet. And I laughed at him, of course, righto.
Yeah.
And
current champion.
Sure as eggs, he's done Dad's bike up, and mate, he's even got T-shirts made, you know, the comps. He's just a professional, that guy, you know. He's got his own T-shirts or shirts made through Black Chrome for the meeting. They look schmick. I've got them in the car now. It's going to be good. So to have, you know, an 8-time Australian champion riding at a classic event is unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it could be a bit of a teary moment too, mate, when that hits the track. A lot of people that wear the sentiment smack bang on their sleeve will really appreciate that. When Darren wheels out through the gate, there'll be a few emotions flowing.
Look, it will be. Gary was a fantastic guy, and every time he come to Gilman, it was, you know, because I raced against Gary back in about 1806 in Sydney and a few other places when we first started.
Yeah, Jesus was the flagman, I remember.
Wherever we went, you know, as young kids, we were sort of frowned upon being the young kids, you know, 17, 18-year-old, and everyone else was really old. You know, they were in their 30s.
Yeah, really old, yeah.
And but Gary's dad always was polite and, you know, was always good to us, and he's been that way for the last 35 years with me. So.
Another legend of the sport.
Yeah.
Talking of legends of the sport, Friday night there's a bit of a barbie happening down there at All
Certainly
Things
is.
Gilman. Lenny Bowes, they tell me, is going to be there, and Con Migro. 2 superstars, buddy.
You've got, number one, you've got Lenny Bowes, who I just idolised as a kid, of course, you know, and I got my first sidecar off of him. And
it's all his fault.
He taught me everything I didn't know, so he couldn't have been a very good teacher. So
No, I'm not talking about that.
You know, he was just the Mr. Sidecar in those days, and Lenny was the one that was got us through the Cornwall Suzuki days and bikes, and taught us how to ride, and sold me my first bike, hoodwinked me into getting my first sidecar, taught me, you know, all about different things, and he's been one of my confidants over all these years at Gilman Speedway as well. I'd ring him up and ask him questions, and he'd tell me if I'm heading in the right direction or not.
I'm sure he's always been straightforward and honest. Hey, this weekend, people that attend, it's only $20 to get in. Kids are free. I think that's fantastic. So all power to you guys. Some lucky person's got, if you get a program that's got the appropriate page marked, you're going to get a ride on a Vincent. Is that true?
Well, not only are you going to get a ride on one of the best presented Vincents you would ever see in your whole life. I think the guy's crazy for putting it on dirt on the Everside. But you're going to get a ride with Darren Trelaw.
Well, I think the Dragon's going to have to come down, mate.
And on the back. And look, we skipped over it before, but, you know, we're talking about Lenny Bowes, but, hey, man, we got the best promoter that Australia has ever seen.
Connie Migro, yeah.
In Con Migro coming to our venue, you know, like what a coup that is, you know, for us. And,
mate, we're looking forward to it. Like I say, gates open at 4 p.m, racing from 7:30, but people have got access to the pits right up until 6:30 so they can feel and touch these monsters.
Get your camera, you know, get the kids there, sit them on the bikes. You know, I'm sure the guys will just ask the guys, sit them on the bikes, get some photos taken. It'll be neat.
Dave, just want to touch on something. Kim McConnell, who you paired up with for many, many years, Search and Destroy sidecar team, his son Billy has just won the Superbike Championship. Is that what they say?
Well, it's not super stock. It's something. It's the next one down from the Superbike in the British Super Sport. Sorry.
Super Sport. So I think
British
you're right.
Super Sport. Now, to win that is, the next stepping stones. The Superbikes, and to win that and to be as aggressive, and I know where he gets his aggressive from his father, but the way that he won it, and from being behind the 8 ball, he's just an unbelievable rider. He'll be there. He'll be at Speedway this year. I spoke to Kim. He's coming back on the Friday, so hopefully he said he'll be at Gilman on the Saturday night.
Oh well, he'll have a few stories to tell. And look, mate,
no, we've sworn to secrecy on some of that stuff. But but Billy will definitely be at Gilman this year. He always drops down, and it'll be great to have him.
Yeah, great for the South Australian going there. And look,
and they told me you might even be turning up.
Oh mate, I'm going to try and get down there on Friday night. I want to have a chat with Lenny Bowes and get the true story on what you were really like as a kid.
No. What went on tour stays on tour. You know the deal.
All right, look forward to catching up with you this weekend, folks. Get down there, 2 and 3 wheel action, Gilman Speedway, racing from 7:30. But do yourself a favour, get down there early and check out these bygone bikes. They're worth a look. Thanks, Dave. He is an absolute character, isn't he? He works his butt off for those bikes, that man. Gilman Speedway, get down there, check it out. It's going to be a great weekend's racing. We're back right after this with more Thursday Thunder. Absolutely never boring in the world of the Dragon, I've got to tell you. Last week on the Thursday Thunder Facebook page, we put up a quick little tipping contest on the back of the Bill Wiggsell Battle of the Bridge. I think there's about 48 people entered, gave their tips. Real simple, you got 3 points for each one you got correct of the first 3, and if you didn't get them in the right order, you picked up 1 point. Well, I've got to tell you, what a dismal display from our tipsters. Our superstars absolutely crumbled. We're worried about the drivers. We only had a couple of guys pick up 1 point. Many of us got nil. However, we've carried that tipping competition over. If you want to join us, it's on the Thursday Thunder Facebook page. Join in, it's a bit of fun. We'll see at the end of the year who the best tipster is. We're just going to pick a different venue and different race each week. This week we got the Adelaide, the 360 race coming up. So if you want to join us, check out the Facebook page. So lots going on, thanks to our friends at Scotcher Petroleum. Over in Perth last week, and as we discovered, Night 1, Part A, got rained out after only one Formula 500 race. So they raced last night, which would be Tuesday night, because we're filming on Wednesday night for Thursday Thunder on Thursday. You still with me? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get my gift. We had our number 1 man from WA, Bear Chalmers, walk around and ask a few of the drivers what the opening night really brought to them. Let's roll the tape, Sam.
Welcome to the Perth Motorplex, night 2, or I should say take 2 of opening night this year of the 2014-15 season. Awesome blue sunny skies, pits are full of people, and we're going to go and ask everybody what is their favourite part about opening night. Stay tuned, all you Thunder listeners.
Hi, I'm Todd Waddell, driver of the Bennett Motorsport number 7, sponsored by Tap Out Energy K-Tech Rentals. Really looking forward to night 1 of the season. Everything's fresh, the car looks good, so yeah, let's get it on.
How you going? I'm Matt Fellows, driver of the 78 Maxim. Looking forward to opening night tonight. First race meeting out on the Speedway track in the wingless. Hoping to have some fun and a couple of beers afterwards, and hopefully it's straight and go on next weekend.
Hey, I'm Mitchell White. I'm driving the number 42 wingless sprint down here at opening night for the Perth Motorplex. Second shot at it. It rained out on the weekend, so we're back. Hopefully have a good night tonight. It's my first race meet in the Motorplex, so hopefully have some fun and bring it home straight.
How you going? I'm Craig Vosbergen, driver of the number 8 Worldwide Machinery Valvoline Rocket. We're here at the Motorplex opening night with a bunch of other cars, and just looking forward to winning a couple of races hopefully, and continuing it on.
What's the most thing you look forward to on opening night each year of the season?
It's always good to see all the new cars and graphics and everything like that, and catch up with everyone for the first time again, and yeah, we're back with the old family.
So there's some very interesting little grabs there from night one from the Motorplex, Part B, on a Tuesday night. They tell me the racing was absolutely fast and furious. However, for poor old Daniel Harding, a favourite here at Thursday Thunder, the heat race went very, very wrong. Check this out. Samo, roll the footage. He's prepared a beautiful looking car again. We come around, we take the green, and he's got absolutely nowhere to go. Rides the wheel, up, there we go, up and over. Daniel and the boys are left with lots of work. So thanks to Adrian for the footage there. On the job as always. So ugly start for the Harding boys. The winner of the night, we'll discuss later on, Ryan Farrell, back in the seat with the Diamond Bay boys. We caught up with Ryan after the race and had a quick grab. Bear with us, the audio is a little tough, but I think what he has to say is very worthy of a listen. Samo, roll the tape.
Yeah, mate, it's a dream come true, really. It's been a long, hard and difficult couple of years to get back to this point, so, you know, fairy tale finish. You know, I probably didn't do the car justice tonight. I was made some mistakes in lap traffic, and my fitness wasn't where it needed to be, and we probably didn't deserve the win in the end, but I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. I really got to thank the Speedway family, you know, community as a whole. You know, I've not had one negative or derogatory comment from anybody. You know, through the whole last couple of years. You know, all the feedback and comments that I've had from everybody's been really positive, and that certainly wasn't what I expected. So, you know, to that end, I'm very grateful, and it's nice to feel loved and wanted. You know, to my family and close friends who have stuck by me, you know, through some pretty dark hours over the last couple of years. You know, a big thanks to them, and of course to this team, Paul and Steve Stathy and Erica. You know, the boys in the crew who have believed in me and stuck by me through thick and thin. You know, and I probably didn't deserve this second chance, but they've given it to me anyway. You know, and I'm very grateful.
So maybe hit the gym over the next few weeks, mate, to get that neck fitness back up?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely just need to get my general fitness better, but, you know, the main problem I had was holding my head up. The track was quite fast tonight, and the G-forces, you know, hurt me a lot. And, you know, I haven't had any problem holding my head up for, you know, 15 years, but, you know, when you're racing year in, year out, you know, you sort of tend to build up the muscle in your neck, and you don't have any trouble. I've never had any trouble holding my head up, but tonight I was, you know, by about lap 8 in that second heat race, my head was falling off, and by about lap 10 in the feature race was the same. And you just can't be on the ball and hit your marks and be up in the seat like you need to be when you're driving like that. So yeah, I definitely need to lift my game, and you know, the car was faster than me tonight.
Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, some things said there, weren't there? So apologies about the audio, but I think it was very important that we got that out to you guys so you could hear what he had to say. And absolutely heartfelt. Well done to Ryan and the team. Great to see him back and get that first win under the belt. Now on the phone, hopefully, through the magic of all things TriCaster, I've got Bear Chalmers to join me. Bear, you there?
Yeah, g'day boys, how are you? Hey, just touching on the tipping, mate, am I saying that I can't ask you for the lotto numbers?
Well, I tell you, we had some very, very high-profile people within across Speedway in Australia all record noughts. That's all I'll say at this stage.
And
hey,
I'm
mate,
one of them, just quietly.
Night B of night one, Tuesday night there at the Plex. Some interesting racing. I've got some photos we're running through, Bear, from Mel Parker, which was actually taken on night one. She takes some beautiful shots, but I wanted to get them out there, some of the stuff that she's done. Mate, I wanted the win last night, Lee Redmond in the speed cars. Old Leroy, he took it to him in a big way, yeah?
Oh, the thing was on rails, mate. He had it on from the word go all night long, never faltered, took off, and he ran away from like third and fourth place by over half a lap. Very impressed with Lee's driving last night. The car is beautifully presented with the new man, Western Star Truck sponsorship.
Nice.
He presents the team very well. Interesting note, last night, walking past the back of the transporter, and I see him on the back of his, in the trailer, on a bike, on like a bike machine, warming up.
Right.
And I had to go and ask what's going on. He said he just had a knee reconstruction and sitting in a midget for that amount of time seizes his knee up. So there you go. He was warm and ready, and when he got out there, he just drove away.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason I shouldn't ride speed cars. Mate, Toddy Waddell did well. He stood up in the second position, and Mark Brown in third. Is that right?
No, Mark Brown, unfortunately, came a cropper on the opening lap. Unfortunately, someone else hit the kill switch. Mark had nowhere to go and unfortunately put the tap out energy number 9 upside down. No major damage. Boys have informed me today that the cars are all back together. Todd, no, he went back a bit in the field. I think it was Neville Lance who ended up getting second. I'm not sure of third, to be honest. But yeah,
I'll sack my researcher, mate. My researcher's in big trouble. However, the premier race of the night was the sprint cars themselves. Ryan took the win from Jamie Maiolo, Cam Gessner, and Mark Wells.
Correct. It's an incredible race, and I don't think I've ever seen the checkered flag waved twice on the same night in the same race. That was the first for me last night.
Bear, my phone's rang a few times today about that. There seems to be some serious controversy as to what happened. Run us through it.
Well, mate, we were concerned, and the race was going about every 5 or 6 laps before the yellows would come on. Unfortunately, now with all the rain that we had, you can well and truly imagine people that have been to Motorplex, it was juiced up last night. Now, some of those guys were going quicker than they've ever been around there before, and so it was locked down. They were running hard, and the longer the race went, you could see that Ryan's race fitness was struggling. He was making a few wrong calls, to his own admittance in the traffic.
Yep.
Jason was running him down, so the longer runs were better for Jason Kendrick. Went in there to have a go in turn 3. There was a lap car in the way.
Now this is on the white flag lap, yeah?
It was on the white flag lap. They were coming around to take the checker. Ryan just basically had to roll through 3 and 4, and I don't think Jason would have got a run with the lap car there, but he saw a gap. He had a go. I'm not going to make a call on whose land rights it was, but at the end of the day, they came together. Ryan turned sideways. Jason broke a left front sub-axle off. Jamie Maiolo drove onto both of them and took the checkered flag. We're all thinking...
you would think he would have won that point.
Well, he did, and funny enough, I'm standing next to John and Sean Farrell up on the hill, and they're both happy as Larry that Ryan's got through 25 laps and he's finished on a podium. And then all of a sudden we've heard over the PA, green-white checker, we're going back 2 laps. We're all bewildered. Why? Took a fair while for them to work out who was going who. You could hear the commentators saying, we're checking video. It was a bit like the cricket. It took a fair while to get the green light. But they had a green-white checker, and Ryan was never headed from there.
Well, I guess, mate,
he did a great job.
Yeah, nice fairy tale finish either way. And who are we to ever possibly question what stewards are doing?
Oh, no, yeah, well, that's it. That's a job no one wants. But look, on a soft note, it was a magnificent speech that he made over the PA last night. I had the privilege of standing with John and Sean Farrell, as you just said, and there's not too many times I've heard John Farrell speechless, and he never had a word to say with Ryan's accolades. He thanked everybody, the people, the fans, the racers, everyone he possibly could. He sucked it up and enjoyed it.
All right, mate. Well, it sounds like you guys had an awesome run back there at the Motorplex last night. Thank you for covering that for Thursday Thunder, and we really did appreciate the little grabs.
Not a problem at all. We'll have some more stuff for you out of the Figlamini Memorial coming up Saturday week. 34 laps for every class on the night, honouring one of the greats out of WA.
How good is that? Every year, mate. I look forward to this.
Best race of the year.
I've got to get across there and see it. The Dragon's got to get out of the lair and check out some of the speed car action at the Motorplex.
Well, Mongo says there's a swag on the back patio for you.
Thanks, Mong. Appreciate it. Thanks, Bear. We'll catch up soon.
See you, listeners.
Man, the Plex is absolutely going off. It's a pristine place. If you've never been there, I know I say it often, but do yourself a favour. Get across to Perth. Check out that Motorplex. That's how Speedway should be done. There's a wrap of all things WA for the minute. The opening night of the Motorplex, night 1A and night 1B, thanks to our good friend at Scotches. Talking of Scotches, last week they had their Fuel Friday, where if you went along and bought 100 litres, you got 20 litres for free. Apparently it went off like a cracker. Frog in a sock, was one saying. They're going to do it again this Friday. When you get down there, you've got to tell them you heard about it on Thursday Thunder. Pick up your Scotcher Fuel. 100 litres, get 20 free. Scotcher Fuels this Friday. Always keen to hear from you. Drop me a line, Darren at Thursday Thunder. Promotion of the sport, I love it, as you know. Anyone getting off their bronze and making things happen. In a different form, a gentleman called Justin Barcia joined the Joe Gibbs Racing, or stole their NASCAR, to promote his new joining of the Monster Energy team. They put together a promotional video. I thought you might like a look of it. We'll go out with it tonight. Until I see you again, enjoy your Speedway. You've been watching Thursday Thunder. We are the Ministry of Speed. Take care and look after your families.
What the hell is going on out here? My car.
The full extent work on 3, exit right door 463. 5 we yeah, so. Additional killing.
Ready.
Let's go from there.
Go.